Got a Kansept. Kansept. This one's been around here for so long. This is a Hellx. Mikkel Williamson design. This is gray anodized S35BN titanium. A little over a 3.5-inch blade. And I have reviewed Hellx on the channel before, but it wasn't this upgraded model. So this one's been hanging around here for some time. I need to get to it. And this is the premium version of this knife. And so I'll be interested to see what I think. I do like the two-tone already. The black stone washed with the natural titanium. And I mean, one look, if you're familiar with Williamson's designs, this thing kind of follows that genre right out of the gate. Yeah, it looks very familiar for that. And I first came across Williamson's designs with a couple of kubey knives. And then I started searching them out, and I think that's how I found this Hellx. Look at this thing. So you got the name very subdued here, the designer, Mikkel Williamson there, and then I believe, yeah, we've got a serial number and then blade steel here. And it's got this gray stonewashed textured blade. Very interesting. Ooh, that action's stiff. I say it's stiff. It runs like a Swiss watch. Wow. Yeah, very forceful. But unlocking that, oh my goodness. It's possible that, because this is on the lock bar. The pocket clip's on a lock bar, and of course, I'm grabbing the pocket clip. So let me try and function it without grabbing the pocket clip. It's hard to do. I mean, maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But we'll have to look at that. Blade centered. Wonder with the grit. This has got a rough texture. Let's see. Spidey flick it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm squeezing the clip. And so I think that's locking me out when I'm trying to open or close it. Interesting. Wow. I don't know that. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem horrible going this way when I'm not putting my fingers on this. But yeah, that's right up on the lock bar. And so it's making that really difficult to unlock. And I mean, the knife is super smooth. It's just, yeah, it's trying to function at without getting on tension onto this pocket clip. Wow. Nice jimping on the flipper tab. Yeah, see, I'm squeezing the clip right there. Just and trying to not get on that is like impossible. Like there's no way to leverage that with my thumb and hold on to the knife. Yeah, it's just oof. Yeah. This jimping here, combat stuff. Same as on the spine. Yeah. And of course these knives are purpose built for choke up work. But nice grip back here as well. This works. But this is money. If you like to handle a knife like this and whittle or whatever you're slicing, oh, this thing's heaven right here. Yeah, buddy. Very nice. Full titanium backspacer, titanium pocket clip. Well, let's get up in it. Already know that this is probably not captured, and it's going to come out, the screw is going to come out this show side. Almost 100% of these are backwards, and it is not captured, and so it's going to take another T8. I'm going to have to hold down, get it on lockdown, and I believe the screw will come out this show side. Oh. Well, I'm gonna bring in some help. Help. I almost feel like that's a T10. There's an awful lot of slop in there. I've got a T10 here. Let me check. Yeah. Yeah, it's T10s. Well, let's get two T10s. Use the right size bit. How about that? I don't have one in here. Maybe I got one. You know what? I've got one here. Let's use this one. And let's use this one. I'm going to go back to my original theory that it's going to come out this side. Ooh, careful. Trying to have bad things happen to me there. None of that was fun. Well, let me see if I have one. Because, golly, that could have been really bad. It's giving me all I can handle. But I'm not gonna let up on it. I can tell you that. I'm getting in there. I mean, if I'd have cut myself, then most definitely I'd have got in there, or I'd melt it. Take it down to the shop and melt it with a torch, you know. But I'm gonna hold again with. You know what? Let's do this. Let's close the blade. I don't need that blade open to get this off. Here's your daddy. I mean, I'd call it a punk, but it put up a fight. So, you know, I mean, that's kind of the rule, right? Like, did have my heart racing a little bit. I don't know about y'all, but I got a little excited. But like most things, you know, you go from excited to meaningless. Didn't accomplish nothing. Tried to hold me off, and in the end, not so much. Got stuff everywhere here. That is a T8. Let's put the T8 there. Goodness. Yeah, I'm a little flustered, man. There we go. Now I need the T8 again. Whew. We're definitely going to try to come in from this other side. Is that another T10? No, that's T8. Are these T6s? No, that's T8. So, when we go back together, I'm definitely going to try to mount everything down. We'll flip that pivot. So I'm going to pull these screws from this side. I'm going to try to. Now, of course, that's spinning. All right. Well, I've got another one of these. You just never know, man. It's like some days you get out of bed and you spend the whole day faced with, you don't know it's coming, right? I didn't know it was coming. I probably could have been a little more cautious working with all that. Kind of threw hazard to the wind. Yeah, that can come in from the bottom now when we put it back together. And, ooh, man. Now there is a ton of tension on this lock bar as well, I'm noticing. So I may relieve it of some of that before we put it back together. All right, golly. And it's oily in here. I mean, and correctly oiled in the way that kind of makes me believe that this is, somebody's been in here, because this don't look like factory oil. This looks like somebody took care of the knife. But look at this lock bar. Wow, there's a lot of that tension there. Let's get a T6 and see if I can't get that insert off. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to take a little bit of this off of the knife. Like so. That looks like that works for me. Now I'm going to wipe it all down, and then we'll get it back together. I don't need this no more. No more. Whew. You know, I have to admit, if that would have resulted in a big injury, I don't think I could show it. I think I'd have to not put it on the channel. Like, for some reason, when it comes to our platform here, there you can't show like reality. You know, it's rainbows and unicorns, man. Like, it's all got to be comfortable. I don't know. I know it appears as we progress as human beings, we seek comfort more and more and more based on our feelings or perception, you know, not so much reality. Like, you know, a hunting video dropping an elk in the field can be controversy, and it's amazing how many people see it as cruelty. And it's like, well, where do you think meat comes from? I mean, some of that's just, we've gotten so far down the, is it civilized path? I mean, but is civilization just the fact that we don't see, you know, because we're civilized, we don't see behind the curtain no more? Like, you know, how meat's processed, or, you know what I mean? Like, if I don't see it, then it's not reality. You know, I don't know. I don't raise my kids that way. You know, my kids get a full dose of the reality. And I don't know why I'm preaching on all this, but you know, on the backside of that, all of my children, all five of them, are incredibly capable. You know, like they all suffer setbacks and trials and struggles in life. You know, on every level, but it's always done with a sense of, oh, excuse me, resilience. You know, things are kept in a proper perspective. Maybe not initially, like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes things happen and can't help but let it, you get your world rocked, you know. But then, it doesn't take long for life lessons to kick in and go, yeah, I mean, how long am I going to sit in this versus, just get it together and move on. There we go. Big bearings. I mean, they're big. Big. I did lighten that detent on that lock a little bit too, so it'll be interesting to see the result of that. I'm gonna put a little bit lube on this track where that detent ball is running. And I'm going to put the pivot in, and then I'm going to put one of these screws in back here to get a balance on the knife, and then we're going to check everything. I'm going to check that action and make sure everything's where it's supposed to be, functioning properly, before I completely reassemble this knife. I think I'm gonna put this back one in. And it's a T8. That T6, I used it solely for that metal lock insert. It's the only thing I used it for. That tightened up well. All right, T10 on the pivot. And that tightened up well. It's interesting when you come in from the correct side how well everything fits. So there's absolutely no wiggle in that. And I mean, the action on it's stupid drop shut now. Ooh. Look at that. And it's locked up super solid. How locked up are we here? Yeah, there's no play. I mean, it's easier to function the knife now, having taken a little bit off of that, a little bit of tension off of that, even though I'm holding the pocket clip. So the tension was playing a factor. It was playing in, but let's finish putting this thing together. I mean, yeah, golly. Whew. And of course, it doesn't hurt that the blade is the size of a jungle machete. I mean, Williamson does a pretty consistent job of creating these huge, massive knives. And this one's no exception. It's a large knife with large ergonomics and a large blade. Oh, man, is that good. Wow. Yeah, this black titanium with the gray titanium, the two-tone, and then the coating on the blade matches the gray and the scales. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's like a compound grind too. You've got a grind from here to here, and there's basically a tip there, and then a secondary grind there. I I say that, but I don't have any indication here on the flat of the knife that there's a secondary grind there. Just here on, it's like they created the sharpened edge here. They stopped and changed the angle somehow. Not really sure. Very nice though. Let's talk about this action. So now that I've lightened that up a little bit, I mean it's a guillotine, 100%. I can't fail it though. So that comes with lightening that up. I did strip some of that detent out of it. Definitely can fail it, but can still spidey flick it, thumb flick it, and then just the slightest amount of pressure, nice jimping. It's sharp. Look how high this flipper tab is from the center of that pivot. I mean, it's almost a half an inch above it. And so very snappy action. And it begs the question, would I rather put the detent back in so that doesn't fail, but then I almost can't unlock the knife because of that tension? Which would I rather have? Well, I'd rather have this. Yeah. Golly, does that thing... You hear that thwack coming out of there? Here, listen up. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, so I give it an A minus only because, like, it's a compromise, you know, because of how stiff this lock bar is. And then the pocket clip being on the lock, the face of the lock, it's not good, right? Like, definitely could have done that a little different. But it's wonderful. Ergonomics, this choke up, man, it's money right here. I'm not a choke up fan, but golly, is this knife legit right here as a slicer and a cutter. Definitely a confident grip back here. Not so confident, confident, very confident. Definitely a confident grip here. The reverse grip, cap it with the thumb. Very confident, powerful grip there. And yep, I can dig in here. I can get it. If I was gonna, hammer down with this blade, this is be where I want to do it from. My palm fits in here, and so I'm protected. I feel pretty confident that I could really, really dig in, almost bushcrafty on this knife. Yep. Look at that action. Come on, man. Let's check pocket clip. I think it's going to do fine, but it is a ball clip. It's a ball. Those things, man, are hit and miss. This one, wonderful. And look at that. That knife disappeared in that pocket with that broken tree branch of a pocket clip. Wonderful look. Good tension. Man, I did not see that coming. It could use a tad bit more tension, but I'm going to leave it alone. If you pick the knife up, just know that it locks down from the inside, had one screw, and then you could easily put a little tension on that. Now, you may not want to. Maybe you're not planning on jogging or running around. You just want to slide it in your pocket and be able to get it out of there, and it does that very well. Yeah, wonderful. Check the safety on it. No blade contact there. And the tip is recessed under that nib. See that little nib right there? It's hiding the tip of that knife. Yep. So tip's good, clip's good, and I'm confident I can handle this knife any old way I want, and not catch the sharp part. This jimping on the spine or the back spacer and the scales, it's worth mentioning. It's very aggressive combat stuff. Very nice. Lanyard hole in the back. This thing looks like it's wicked sharp. Let's check it. I mean, big, tall, flat ground blade. I'm going to expect it to be sharp. Let's see. So sharp that I'm going to go after the rough side of the page. Yeah, man, I don't need to cut no more with that. It's as sharp as I expected it to be, and more so. Yeah, man, is that sticky. Ooh. Excellent A1 job from the factory on that sharpening. It's got a wonderful coating on this blade, too. I don't know what it is. I'm going to look up prices on this knife, and I'll see if I can't identify this coating. Yeah, so they're just listing it as gray anodized. And it's kind of a matte finish. You can see a semi-gloss in it, but that's all they're saying about it. And then black and silver, titanium. Price-wise, this thing's very reasonable. So I'm seeing them listed. I don't see a lot of them. I see a lot of the non-premium version. I see a lot of that version, but this premium one, not so much. There's just not a lot of them out there. And I'm seeing them for around $140, plus shipping and tax and all kinds of stuff. So Timber's Edge probably going to be sub 120, and that includes shipping and tax. So yeah, if you're looking for one of these, you can look for this one over there. Appreciate y'all watching. Man, what a beast of a knife. And I mean, is that reasonable? Just a tick over $100 for this bad dude? I think so. Yeah, golly. All right. Appreciate y'all watching.